Yes, ma'am. Good to go.
Okay. Uh, Samprati, Somshubhra, Harsh, Soham, and Pranati here as team members for graded assignment 2 of SPG course, and I am Raj Lakshmi, fulfilling the role of advisor for this discussion. So let me introduce you to the case study. As you might have already gone through, there are three main characters in the case study. One is Professor, and basically the case is about importance of tone in emails. The given case was an academic setting, and it has three main people, three main characters. One is Professor Pradeep Sharma. It was given that he's a student friendly professor. He's polite, and he's always approachable. But he had recently faced some ill health and fading memory issues. Another character is Meeta Singh, who is an alumnus of the university. She is projected to be a sincere and ambitious student, but she has also some downsides like being too much straightforward and having reclusive in nature. That is, she doesn't interact much with her peers. Another character that we came across is Manish Kumar, who is another student who is always traditional and conservative, but at times he used to be unreasonable or abrupt. Because of this character of his, he didn't gain many of his friends in the campus. So, and the setting went like this, that one day Professor Pradeep sent an email by mistake to a wrong group with the test papers attached. So for that email, Meeta Singh replied with the inappropriate choice of words. So that caused a stir among the students. And even professor replied to her message that her choice of words was not good. She apologized. Professor has also accepted the apologies also. But another student called Manish Kumar took it one step ahead, and he took it too much of a direct war kind of thing, and he used very abusive language to her, saying that it is none of your business to dictate the professors and so on. So for that, she got upset and she asked to remove her name from the group of the students. So this was the setting. This poses two main points of discussion here. One is there is definitely a failure in the email communication that we all are able to understand. So we need to see what are the reasons for this general failure in email communications, and that happened. And one another thing is there is definitely this importance of tone when we write emails. So, what factors generally contribute to tone in a email, and do we have any ways to improve that? So, on this topic, we are all going to discuss. So, someone can start and put your opinions, like what went wrong, what could have been better.
Yes, ma'am.
Who's going to
So,
start?
yeah. So, if
Please,
I may
Sampriti, go
start,
ahead. Yeah.
yeah. Good evening, ma'am. So the first question here is that we need to identify the reason. That is the point of discussion. Is we need to identify the reason that why the email communication failed. So since there are three people. So if we analyze from their conversation and their mails, so for Professor Pradeep Sharma, the problem stemmed from a lack of clarity in choice of the platform and also the correctness in audience targeting. So probably he could have done a simple cross verification, and since he's a little bit deteriorated in his health right now, so that would have helped, and this would be easily avoided for this miscommunication that happened with a simple cross verification. From the alumni side, that is Ms. Rita Singh, so uh, she pointed out that is true, but her lack of consideration for the hierarchical and the cultural sensitivity of how to communicate with a former professor. So her tone lacked a lot of courtesy, and her feedback it could have been more more tactful, and it could have been shared privately also with the professor himself. For Mr. Manish Kumar, uh, the response introduced some hostility in the conversation. So his email did not only lack courtesy and consideration, but it also reflected a clarity of intent in conflict management. So his language, the specific words like tilde and phrases like not your business, this crossed all the professional boundaries possible, and it reflected a poor emotional regulation and a constructive the constructive framing of an argument that was completely absent in his conversation. So this whole exhibit that we were given, this is not merely a issue of wrong recipients or incorrect words. It was a communication collapse, which was caused, in my opinion, by overlooking the emotional context, the audience, the professional decorum, and thereby leading to interpersonal tensions. So this is what I have to say on the first point of discussion. For the second point, that what are the factors that
We'll
contribute?
take inputs from some other on the second point, so that we'll get everyone into the discussion in the time possible. So someone wants to highlight their opinions and factors to improve. What is the importance of tone, basically?
Ma'am, when I read through the emails, I think one thing that contributed to the rudeness or abruptness in the tone was that it didn't have a beginning or an introduction. Instead of Sharma, instead of Singh just starting off with telling Sharma, that there's a big goof up and everything. If she started off the email by saying, "Good evening, Professor. I hope this email finds you well," and then she got to the message, it would have been a more constructive and it would have had a good start. And I think that would have reduced the conflict and the tension in that communication. And as we see in all of these emails, that's sort of an introduction and that's sort of a friendly greeting in the beginning because they were all people in the same institute, so they all knew each other. That was absent, and I think that was one reason for the conflict and the tension. And I think that's one point that I would like to raise. And apart from this, I think we can also look at it from the point of the 10 C's that we talked about in week two. I think there was very less clarity in these emails. Like Sampriti mentioned, there was no actionable outputs mentioned by Singh when Sharma um, made the goof up. She just mentioned that this email has come and it's an error and I don't want you to do this again. But instead, if she had mentioned some constructive approaches to like prevent this from happening in the future, I think that would have been a more conversation and rather than just pointing fingers.
Pranathi, also over here, the
Soham,
thing is basically like,
Also,
yeah. So basically, like, apart from the tone, I think here if the email was sent to that basically particular like professor, instead of actually basically addressing all the basically the recipients, I mean in that basically particular like mailer, then I think it basically would have been more, like a better like uh, I mean like a situation over here because it was a bit of like humiliating to see that mail for for all the students. I mean, since that basically the mailer like included the students as well as that basically particular like alumni of that like institute. So I think that was also like one more factor
right,
over
right. So
here.
we'll listen to Soham's inputs on this. Yes.
okay, so my take on that is that uh, although Meeta Singh's concern about the unauthorized sharing of the academic material was appropriate, but instead of doing it in in a public space, a private message would have avoided further escalation of the situation, and also maybe it could be that while the phrase refrain from, maybe it may sound appropriate in the Western context, it may not be suitable in the Indian scenario. And also one must be careful enough to pause and read it twice or thrice before sending the email. Otherwise, the recipient sometimes can misread it, and also some communication issues can arise. And I think that some softer phrases or gentle ones like "I understand that," and also would you consider those kind of phrases are appropriate. And also
Right.
it is right to avoid replying or addressing it in public unless it is really necessary.
Right. So Soham has put forward this point also that there is a cultural barrier also when you talk to people. What is accepted in some cultures may not be acceptable in others also. So we'll ask Harsh for his opinions
I
on.
also want to add
Okay.
one more thing. Like
Yes,
for
yes, we'll.
example, like in UK or US, people sometimes address with, another people with the first name
Right,
like John, like that. But
right,
in India, we have to address it properly as sir, ma'am, or
right.
the title like professor, doctor, like that.
Yeah, we'll take Harsh's inputs on this and we'll come back
Yeah,
to Soham.
okay. So I just wanted to say here, like in this all this email failure scenario, I think there was no need by Manish Kumar to like talk to Singh in that way. Like he used the phrases like "not your business," filthy language. It was completely inappropriate. Like he did the same mistake as Singh did with Professor Sharma. Like he shouldn't have used those phrases. Like and. She was alumni. Singh was alumni, so kind of she was senior to him. So obviously he shouldn't have used those words. I think Manish Kumar can could have like solved this issue very calmly and very creativity. Like he could have dissolved all this matter, but I think his actions only worsen this case and didn't help anyway.
Right. I have two more points to put forward here. Two of the things that was missing in this is read before sending. Read before sending. We should ask ourselves: would I say this if I meet that person in face? If I don't meet him face to face, will I say the same sentences? So that approach was missing in this conversation. Even with the case with Manish and Singh, Mita Singh's response also. Would I say this meet her in person now? So that is one thing. And another is keeping the emotions in check. We do put or use so many unwanted words, or we speak differently when we are upset or when we are angry with people. So people didn't control their emotions. They might have waited for a minute. They might have seen what's going on. By the time Manish might have already responded, the apologies by Mita must have would have already accepted by the professor, and they might have moved on. Then that case, there is no need of an email from Manish at all, right? When the student and professor has already solved the issue. So he could have waited, he could have put his emotions under control, and this could have avoided those unnecessary exchange of emails. Yeah, we'll go back to Sampriti. What else point do you have with respect to tone of the email? How can we improvise it?
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, I want to present. I have prepared a slide. So, what can be the better response? So, I want to present that.
Yes, yes. You can share your screen.
Yes, ma'am. I Ma'am, I think my screen is visible now. Is it
To me it's visible.
Yes, it is
Yes,
visible.
it's visible.
It is visible.
okay?
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Uh, yeah. So, ma'am, the question is about the factors that contribute. So, if we see the first in the exhibit, the first mail from Mita. So, this is email 4. And the content here says that I would suggest that you refrain from using Google Groups to circulate test papers. I'm an alum and I have received the test paper as well. So, as given in our context, that Nita might be a very direct and straightforward person who probably wanted to only inform the professor. Maybe she had her best intentions. But the use of words, phrases like refrain from, that could have been easily avoided. And then obvious grammatical errors, that is, using the word instead of alumni. So that would have been avoided if she, just like you said before, that if she would have read it and like not impulsively send something just at a go, but think about it, pause and think, and then do things. So it's basically look before you leap. So before doing this, you should have looked at it properly. So a better response here is that it could have been written like that. As Pranati also mentioned initially, that a little greeting, because she is not in touch with the professor for a long time. So it can be written as, I hope you're well. I just wanted to flag that the test paper seems to have been sent to the broader group, including alumni like me. I understand it may have been unintentional, but I thought I'd let you know in case it's helpful. So here, if we can see here that there are from the 10 C's, here we can implement some 3 C's, that is correctness, by using the correct and proper grammar and usage of words, and then courtesy. Like in our culture, we respect everyone, whoever that is, our professor, our parents, or anyone, our even our younger siblings. So a respectful tone would have been better. And in this context, that a constructive feedback that I wanted to flag this, and also
We'll pause here and we will also take Som's inputs on this. What else could have been better in terms of consideration or courtesy?
Hi, ma'am. So here, as you have already basically like said, so I just basically wanted to like point out that the very basically like first thing that basically should have been done by Sharma, uh, sorry, the basically the student, uh, is that he first basically should have checked that basically what the actual basically the matter is. That is, I would point out over here the thing of basically like accuracy over here. That is basically like firstly that basically should have been like checked uh,
Right,
before
right.
before actually basically like reaching out to that like prof in that humiliating
So,
way.
in email.
Yeah,
Right.
that is
Yes,
one.
Pranati. Yes, Pranati, we are
And
waiting for
also
you.
one thing I want to add is that
Wait,
some
Pranati is
redundancy
eager.
we must avoid.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Yes, Pranati, go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. I think one more thing that I could have been considered was that Professor Sharma, I think it was mentioned in the case study that he had some health issues and
Right,
Yeah,
forgetfulness.
right.
And I think I think Singh could have been a little sympathetic about that
Mm-hmm.
and taken that into consideration
Mm-hmm.
while, and sort of understood where the error was caused because of the forgetfulness and the health issues. And maybe that would have caused her to be a little more sensitive in the way she had written her email. I think that's what I was trying to say.
Right. I have one more point to put forward. We all know that our body.
ma'am, your
I
sound.
think,
ma'am,
ma'am, you're
I'm
not
audible.
inaudible.
Alright.
No, I think
Is
you're
it fine now?
Yes, ma'am, it's
Yes, ma'am.
fine.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
now
It is
it's
fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, we all know that our body language adds. Pranati, we lost your video. Okay, our body language adds so much to our words when we speak in person. If we speak with a frowned expression, it shows some kind of anger or irritation, frustration. Similarly, when we speak with raised voice, it shows shouting or so. So, whatever the role the body language plays in a direct communication, it is exactly replicated by the choice of words in emails. So, whatever words we choose, it just shows the emotions behind them. Reading between the lines. So, it is not only what we are saying, it is also about how we are saying. So, we'll listen to her opinion on this as well.
ma'am.
Sampriti,
Before
you
that, I
can
also
So,
want to add.
just a minute. Sampriti, I saw that you have two or three more slides. If you can just, what to say, skim through those. I mean, just take
yes,
it
ma'am.
forward. On that, either Harsh or Soham will speak. We are running out of time. Maybe we cannot
Sure, ma'am.
sit and discuss each possible way of email. Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
ma'am.
Harsh. After finishing Harsh, we will go to Soham and we then wind up. Right? We are
So,
already ahead
okay.
of time.
So I wanted to say like about the factors of the tone, factors contributed to the tone of writing. I wanted to say like drafting emails with empathy and or maybe avoiding maybe harsh language can lead to effective communication. Like being considerate involves like we should be considerate about for, recipients. What we can say situation like we should be mindful about the recipient's background and the emotional state. Other point one I wanted to add was we could draft mail with a positive framing, like rather than directly pointing out to the mistakes. Constructive feedback and solution oriented language can help to maintain the tone of a mail or a draft. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Yes, Soham.
Ma'am, also, like it's not just the reflection of the body language or the email alone. Sometimes, whatever the way we present ourselves, it is even reflected in a normal voice call or phone call also. And also, since I think since the communication takes place between an alum and a professor, so I think it would have been wise enough to hype like, dear professor, I hope you are doing well, and also I am an alum of so and so batch, and then some 2 3 lines regarding addressing that point of mistakenly sending the email, that would also would have helped.
Right. Okay, I think we had enough of discussion. Let me just conclude with whatever points we have discussed. So, we identified reasons for failure in this communication as lack of clarity, and then cultural or professional hierarchy is misunderstood. People didn't consider how to write or how to choose words, especially in a hierarchical setting. And public replies to sensitive issues must be avoided whenever possible, and we should deal with them in private to whatever extent is possible. And we should be very careful when we are escalating, especially between our peers. So these are the reasons. And with respect to tone, we discussed widely that word choice is important, audience awareness is important.
Yes, ma'am. So this can help in your summarization.
Yeah,
Yes,
that we
ma'am.
hold with the person is also important. So we also tone in written communication is just like body language in the face to face communication. We should use them with care. And emails in academic settings or in any professional settings should be very clear and respectful. Ultimately, respectful and clear email tones definitely foster a healthy environment and feels valued end of the day. So
And
we'll
also, ma'am,
conclude this
like
discussion. Samkriti.
constructive, yes, ma'am. So constructive feedback always, if we think that this is bad, then it doesn't end by saying, it's not like good to say that I think this is bad, but it is, I think, in my opinion, sometimes always better to say that I think you are doing it this way, but you could have tried the other way also. So if we always put something constructive instead of just pointing out and blaming other people, and also ourselves, then I think we have a positive outlook towards life, and eventually that reflects in our communication.
Thamarja.
Subra, can you stop the recording?
Sure, ma'am.
It is recorded, right?
Yes, yes. Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, so
Good.
we will